Hello and welcome to the Ladies Jackets Fairview soccer game. I'm here with Ethan Allison.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And I'm David Higgins. Today you'll have Fairview facing Loretto High School.
Yes, and we're actually on Fairview's home field, and by the looks of the screen, you can obviously tell that it's been raining.
An extreme amount, obviously. The fields are in terrible condition right now.
Yes, the girls are playing tremendously. It's quite miraculous soccer cleats, David, how over the years they've come out with such new technology. These girls are actually wearing titanium-studded cleats that allow them to stay up above the mud and not have their face in it.
Unfortunately, this also tears up the field because the cleats are so long.
That is true. Lacey Hudson, looking good.
So we opened up with a Fairview PK and a Fairview goal scored by Ella Sanders.
Ella Sanders has really improved her game over the last couple of years. I remember her back when she was playing at Fairview Falcon. I think her aggression level has increased so much.
And she's only a sophomore, so there's so much. She has 2 more years to increase her skill level, and I think it's just going to go up a ton.
Right.
Over the next couple of years.
And speaking, Allison Shu is one of our seniors. She actually, she's a right-footed kicker, but she has so much power and finesse with her left. She should use that a whole lot more.
Say she's kind of ambidextrous a little bit with her feet.
Yes, just like Jared Hill, who's actually the team manager.
So I guess she gets that from him a little bit. And she's playing that left wing, sort of left midfielder, and she's putting those balls in for Megan on the left wing. So
right. And I've noticed that both Allison Shu and Megan Nocita, they work very well together. Their relationship on the field is much like that in school. They can finish each other's sentences.
Here's Loretto with a goal kick.
And it traveled about 20 yards.
Lacey Hudson intercepts and tries to get a shot off, but it's blocked.
That mud is just causing so many problems. It looks like a game of rugby.
All Fairview can really do is get the ball off the bounce and try to put it across in or get a shot. And right now it'll be a Fairview corner kick.
Right. And the thing with Loretto defense is as soon as we get toward their 18-yard box, they really home in and play a very tight formation.
Now here comes Lainey Wilkerson with the corner kick.
And
it goes wide for a goal kick.
Sadly. The referee sure does look like he's enjoying this game, though. He's not muddy at all.
Lucky for him.
Yes. Isn't it true, David, that you actually broke your arm reffing a game because of the mud?
Unfortunately, it is true. I took a step backwards and broke my arm.
Man.
Thanks for bringing up those memories.
Just thinking. Well.
Good clearance.
It just seems like Loretto defense cannot put a person on Miss Hudson.
And it seems whenever they get the ball, it just bounces right back to her. And whenever Loretto is clearing the ball, their offense cannot maintain possession of the ball at all.
No, as soon as the ball touches, the primary thing in soccer is your first touch. If your first touch isn't good, nothing will be good. And Loretto just cannot get that first touch down.
And every single time Fairview gets a touch on the ball, there seems to be either a pass or a good touch into play.
Yes. It's quite sad, actually, to see that their entire formation, all 11 players, are on their defensive half of the field.
They're getting no offensive action. Fairview's getting no work defensively. It's very just an offensive powerhouse game for Fairview.
Right. They are 1 up, right?
They are. It's 1-0, and that'll be a goal kick for Loretto.
Right.
You can see the frustration for Loretto. They just cannot work anything at all. There's no offense. There's no offense. There's no good defense. They're not maintaining possession, and it's just not working well for them.
It's not. They're very structural defensively. I mean, besides their one touch, they're very structural. But as soon as they go on the offense or they counterattack, it's gone.
And it's a short corner kick with a cross by Sarah Macaro. And it'll be cleared.
The clear was about 20 yards out. And Allison Shue with the left foot. Out of bounds. It's going to be a, is that a corner kick for us?
That is a Fairview corner kick.
Good. Who's taking our corner kick? Can't
really tell. It'll be Lainey Wilkerson again, and hopefully she can put a better ball in this time.
You mean Landriana?
Oh, I thought her name was Lainey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Landriana Wilkerson, number 11.
Looks like it's a scramble in the box, and I do not know what's going on right now.
No,
it'll be a PK for Fairview.
PK's in the corner, in the box. David, you're a goalkeeper. Your thoughts on this? The Loretto goalkeeper, she's actually squatting down. Is that a method that should be taken by goalies?
It's harder, but it makes the save because it makes you able to jump easier, except she just got no good jump at all and was left standing still.
Right. The ball actually went on her right side. She should have dove for that one. I don't, maybe her makeup would have come off or something.
You know, it's hard to be a keeper in these muddy times because you just, it's hard to see the ball sometimes. It's slippery. It just gets everywhere. But there was just no attempt to save that ball for the Loretto goalkeeper.
Right. And Loretto actually has the ball over the half line. I think that's the first time in the past 10 minutes.
And number 14 is actually taking the ball down.
Yep. It's going to be taken away.
Oh, almost good try by Ella Sanders.
Yes. Number 8, Ella Sanders, just powerhouse right in there.
Won by Aaron Jones in the midfield, which is played wide.
And it looks like it's a sprint, but recovered by Fairview. It's going to be taken in for a cross, which unfortunately goes out of bounds, leaving us with a goal kick.
Now, obviously, these crosses should be put in a better place, somewhere around the 6 or PK area.
Right, and Lacey Hudson, she is one of those exceptional athletes that has a very buff appearance. She can hold her own, to say in fewer words, but she's also very quick off her feet. And getting that ball to her at the 6-yard line would just be a tremendous feat.
Just trying to get ahead in that ball or something.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, look, she's just,
possessing the ball straight in the box, which is really hard to do with all the defense there.
Right, that's counted, let's see, there's 7 people in that box with, and we have 2 Fairview players out there, and we are controlling it just tremendously.
Here's Magonacita with the low cross. It's just cleared out by the Loretto defender. Those just clearances aren't getting very far at all.
Do you think that's because of the mud, or you just think that's a lack of leg muscle?
I think it's a little bit of both. The mud definitely makes it harder to kick, but it also, you need a little bit more muscle. Right. Throwing for Fairview, which is drop back to Allison Shue.
And the ball disappears. There it is.
Oh, look at that mud pit.
That is nasty.
That is terrible.
At least the field's getting aerated on
is.
the parts that aren't covered in mud.
Hopefully by the next spring for boys Fairview soccer, it'll be better by then.
Hopefully. If we don't have a harsh winter, I think the field is going to be absolutely gorgeous this coming spring, unless football decides to run a raid on it.
Which they did over the summer, so it's always possible.
Yeah.
Well, the goal kick, again, is not cleared at all very well and is still left the top of the 18 until cleared by the Loretto defender.
Just, I know this isn't a game of kickball. Kickball meaning you just kick it as far as you can and pray that someone is running in that general direction. But it seems that Fairview, trying to possess the ball, is not able to do
by passing and connecting those balls with either a through ball or a quick little short pass. Except the long balls are happening to work just on the wings and the wide. Except they need to try and force it down a little bit more and just maintain possession.
And that cross actually by Megan Nocita a few seconds ago was probably the best cross of the game so far. It landed about 6 feet high and about 4 feet off of the inline. And we actually had a player there. Unfortunately, the ball went out of bounds. That would have been a phenomenal goal, though.
And as we were talking, we have a sub for the Loretto goalkeeper. Maybe she can do a little bit better than her last teammate.
Let's hope so. The game, it's a good game. I'll give you that. But as far as skill-wise and tactical, alignment, I'm not seeing it this game.
Now, this is a big, important game for Fairview because if they do win this game, they do go into district.
Oh, this is a district counter.
I believe it is.
All right. Well, whoever is doing the goal kicks now is able to make it past the 30-yard mark.
With a good ball in by Laney, except it will go out, and I do not know if it's a corner kick or a goal kick.
Well, hopefully the ref saw it. It looks like Alyssa Steiner and number 4, Megan Bingle, as they're going in.
Oh, excuse me, that would be Ashley Job.
Oh, Ashley Job.
And
my apologies.
It seems that Aaron Jones will be taking the corner kick this time. It's a
like
good low ball cross, just making danger for that Loretto defense, which frantically clears it. It seems that number 14, every time she gets the ball, she tries to dribble it out.
Oh. Did the keeper touch that one?
I believe she did. That would be a mess up by that Loretto goalkeeper, and it'll be another Fairview corner kick. Well, so far the keeper has been doing than her last teammate, and let's hope that she can maybe improve her progress to maybe get a goal back for Loretto.
Right. We definitely, we want to pull for both teams. Loretto defensively is very strong. Offensively, not so much. In Fairview's offense, we are connecting the dots. We're just not able to put it in the net, and it's quite frustrating.
All shots have been either wide or high, and they need to try and get that ball lower and just more into the corners because their shots are just not there today.
Yeah. Obviously, the only way we can score is from a penalty kick.
And Coach Kevin Sizemore definitely wants to change that because it will not be that easy against Spring Hill, who they play on Thursday of the 24th, I believe that day is, or the 22nd, excuse me.
Yeah, it'd be the 22nd. 23rd, there's Fairview football.
As they play Lewis County at home. So
That's
if
right.
you're interested, come to that game.
Now, there has been speculation, David, about the school actually having to cut sports due to the economy. Do you think that this school will cut soccer?
I have no clue. I hope not. I've always been a participant in it, and I've enjoyed playing in the soccer league for boys. And I also know a lot of friends actually on this Fairview girls side, and they have a deep passion for this sport. And I am sincerely hoping that they do not cancel this.
That's true. I've actually played for 3 years, and the improvements I've seen from the school, Williamson County School District, for the soccer program, our coaching, it's been increasing. And if we had to lose that because they had to cut funds, that would be, I think that you'd have several students who are actually at the top of the class on the soccer team would actually become very depressed and not succeed in school anymore.
Well, there's actually some certain kids who have a chance at a scholarship. One that we mentioned, Jared Hill.
Yes.
He has a very good chance of getting a soccer scholarship. And it's also sad because the girls getting to the district finals this year and the Fairview boys made it to the district finals last year. I think it would just be terrible to see that happen after so much success by both sides.
Oh, most definitely. Oh.
And that would be an unfortunate goal, and just deflection by Selena Farrell.
That's right. Alyssa Steiner was actually standing on the near post waiting for the ball to, obviously to her it appeared that the ball wasn't rolling in. So if you rewound this and rewatched it, you see her do a little sprint, and then she kind of stops and hesitates. Just something that a soccer player has to be able to do is you have to be able to read something and not hesitate. So she needs to definitely work on that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You have to be able to adjust to certain things coming to your way. And I think she did a good job of it because just in case that ball had not gone in, she would have been ready for it.
Right.
Again, the ball is stolen by Ashley Job. After number 14, try to dribble through the defense, which I don't think is a very good idea.
Oh, no. They definitely, if Loretto wants to progress into our third of the field, they need to put someone up there with 14, sacrifice a little bit of the defense to put someone up there.
However, I think they do need more people on defense because Fairview's pressure has been so dominant, and every time Loretto seems to get the ball, they just can't clear it enough.
All right, so if Loretto would actually throw in another midfielder, maybe they could have that transition.
Yeah, they need a little bit more effort in between the offense and defense because there's just no connections in between there.
Right, that mud is just stopping that ball. It rolled right outside the 18 and just stopped right at Lacey Hudson's feet.
And it'll be a Fairview throw-in, and Alyssa Steiner will take that throw.
See, and Alyssa Steiner's actually been known for having one of the girls' best throw distance-wise. Her and Ashley Bowman have the longest distance so far.
Ashley Bowman, actually one of the senior captains this year. She plays that central defensive midfield. Been very good over the last 4 years, and hopefully she can cap this senior season with a couple wins.
Let's hope for the best. What's going on here, Loretto?
Okay.
Back to Fairview.
Here comes Alyssa Steiner with another throw-in.
Now, one throw I've never been able to master is the flip throw.
Oh, very popular by again Jared Hill.
Yes, he's the one that brought that to Fairview. It's just, you do it's pretty much a front flip with a throw. But the only thing that gets me is you lose so much accuracy when you throw.
But he happens to just keep it's so far because it doubles your velocity on the ball, and it just goes so far, and it's actually a very offensive weapon sometimes.
It is. One thing that I have noticed with Fairview is we take so long to set up for stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Free kicks, direct and indirect, throw-ins, all that. We set and wait, and that's unacceptable.
Now, I think, you're definitely right, because if you take a short kick and you just keep the offense or defense off balance, your offense is more in sync, you keep rolling faster. That goalkeeper is often kept off his toes or off his or her toes, and it just doesn't work as well for the defense, and it works great for the offensive team, and it just works better for everybody.
That's so true. And the right wing actually in this game is doing an excellent job of staying wide.
That would be Sierra McDonald?
Yes, Sierra. The Loretto team is actually wanting to pull and go straight up the middle, and Fairview is using that to their advantage by going to the wings.
Yes, her and Alyssa Steiner have also been doing a great job getting wide, and the midfield has been an excellent job of distributing the ball out to them.
Right. It looks like we have a goal kick that travels
a little bit farther this time, but it's still intercepted by Selena Farrell. Who takes a shot, and it'll be deflected. She gets the rebound, takes another shot.
And it's scored. And that was I wouldn't call that a direct kick from her. I think that was like a
deflection off the Loretto defender. That was definitely.
Well, but we'll still give her the point.
Yep. I think it's 4-0 right now, and it just seems to be going Fairview's way completely this half. Not completely sure how much time's left, but obviously Loretto coach definitely wants to talk to her team and try and get them to do better than their performance is showing right now.
Yeah. I wish that we could actually get a score clock, a scoreboard.
For Fairview, I mean, that's one thing that we've been missing here. And hopefully I've heard that maybe they're getting one in, but I personally don't believe that they are, just due to the budget this year.
Yeah. No, it would be nice, but they're not going to put one out here.
Well, this is one of the final home games for the Lady Jackets for a while. So,
until for a while,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, one thing that I've understood with football is home field advantage. You have so many fans there screaming whenever you're actually on the offense. But here, for soccer, the home field advantage offers much more than just the screaming fans. Each soccer field is different. Fairview's is actually the only field in Williamson County that meets TSSAA regulation size, and I do believe that plays an important factor.
That does help certain teams because the width of the field definitely changes the aspects of the game because it gives more room for the wings to get wide. It also allows the depth for the strikers to get into the field.
Right. Just speaking, Loretto, I've never actually seen their field, but I have heard that it is extremely bumpy, kind of like you're playing on a beach with grass.
Now, Fairview is playing in a new district this year, and Loretto is in that district. And some of these new teams include East Hickman, County,
yes.
And some other teams. And I think this is offering some new challenges for the Fairview girls with the new teams and the new aspects of the game.
Right. Hickman and East Hickman, will they be playing Dixon?
I do not know. I think they are. I'm not completely sure. East Hickman actually this year has a brand new girls soccer team because for the last couple of years they've been having
The co-ed
both girls and boys playing on the same team. So that's interesting this year.
Right. Do you know anything about the guys soccer in Dixon? Because we were actually banned from playing them due to past aggressive members.
Well, I think that I am not completely sure again if they're in our district, but it would be interesting considering the past rivalries we've had. Good save by the Loretto goalkeeper.
I think that was the first time that they have actually gone airborne.
Yes, that is true. Anyway, the district I think it would be a good game just for the rivalry between us. We never really liked each other. And I know of a great number of travel players who play for Dixon as they were freshmen this year that are very good players. And so I think it'd be interesting to play them.
Now, there is actually a local travel team here in Fairview. It's called FFC, Fairview Football Club. And they have members on this team that are from Hickman County. And I know that they are just phenomenal players. One, Ethan Skelton out in Bucks.
Phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
He does a great job of maintaining that ball in the midfield, and it shows in his play.
It does.
However, I do not believe East Hickman is going to be that much of a threat this year. Most of their seniors graduated last year, and they were very good.
They did, yeah. Their seniors that graduated, they were. Oh, it looks like Loretto has a
free kick.
Is it direct or indirect?
I believe that is indirect. Excuse me, that's direct for
direct kick.
The referee putting his hand straight out in front of him, meaning direct kick.
Looks like a toe ball.
And it'll be actually reach the Loretto defender until it is. Oh, nope.
It's back in. This is the first time Lotto's had the ball into Fairview's third.
Actually getting into the 18 this time, except Sarah Macaro does a great job intercepting the ball and plays it up to Laney, who does a great move and pulls it back, who accidentally plays it out of bounds for Lotto to throw in.
Right.
We're just not seeing any really huge possession by either team, but Fairview does seem to be scoring more, except they're not possessing it, and Lotto's usually just getting a foot on it.
Right. And one thing, if anybody's ever watched like MLS soccer or professional international teams, you see those moments where you have one player play about a quarter of the field by themselves, and it looks really good. You know, that player, showing some skill, but team-wise, that's not all that great. In Fairview, I haven't seen one person be overly selfish with this ball, which is really good for the team.
Sometimes it is actually important for one person to take it, but yes, team unity, team playing is majorly important, because if you don't have every single player working together, there's just that part missing, which can really make a team fail sometimes.
Right. Especially with this mud, the ability to, when you know that you're going to be running through a mud section,
you don't really want to have to carry the ball through that perform a move, because that ball could just get stuck and ruin it sometimes.
Right. Oh, here comes Megan Osita to Miss Hudson.
Great toe poke away by Megan Osita.
Yes.
Good move by Lacey, who just touched it aside.
Oh, see that mud right there in the ball.
And that caused her to lose the ball again, except Megan Osita recovers. Actually puts a decent cross, except nobody is there except for Laney.
And it's brought back across. Lacey Hudson kind of like chests that ball to the ground.
Which is a poor clearance by Loretto.
Yes.
Except this time we actually get a good one, decent one from Loretto.
You can hear those parents in the background.
Just there's fans who love the sport, and that's great to hear fans cheering their parents or kids on like that.
Yeah.
So we'll get a good Loretto kick.
Hopefully.
And it actually is about to the midfield, except Allison Shue again wins the ball and drops it back to her defense.
Playing that USA style of dropping back. If you don't know, don't go. That's the rule.
I think it is smart for the girls to play that ball back. Just it makes it easier to maintain possession and keep it well done. And it'll be a Loretto throw-in for right now. And it's been going great for right now for Fairview, and they just seem to be dominating this game. And it just doesn't seem like a way out for Loretto. And it's a decent throw-in, which is, again, won by Fairview, number 22, Lauren Taylor. And she's also a senior this year, and so hopefully she'll do well this year.
Yeah, hopefully. Looks like the ref is allowing a substitution to come on. We have number 19. That's Aaron
Jones, excuse me.
Jones.
And this year, Coach Kevin Sizemore has been wanting to do really well with his girls this year. He's been the coach for a number of years, and so it's just been he's been wanting to get this for the girls many times over.
Right. And this year, actually, my freshman year, the team was actually a group of freshmen. We had so many starting freshmen. It was the loss of seniors wasn't all that dramatic, but Sizemore has learned that the freshmen of today are the seniors of tomorrow, and he plays those freshmen alongside with a senior to hopefully teach them the correct methods at a sooner time than what just practicing every year would be.
It's so true, because you see the team unity come together, and you just see it makes it easier for the girls to be able to familiarize with the teams of later years.
Right.
Like when new teammates come in, old teammates leave, it just makes it so much easier for that team to bond and play together.
Speaking of team bonding, do you know if the girls soccer team actually does freshman initiation?
I do not believe they do, but I would know, because last year we had our own freshman initiation for Fairview boys.
We did. My initiation, actually, there's a lake behind Fairview High School. We had to run a 400 on the track, then run back into the lake, swim across it, and that was your initiation. That lake, I'm pretty sure, was filled with septic lines.
Yeah. Well, ours was a little bit easier last year because I'm only a sophomore this year, and it makes it was easier for us because you see all these mud pits on the field, and we had to dive actually on a really sunny day, which baked all that mud onto us after we dove through them all, and that just really was. It was an experience.
It definitely. I mean, it's not something that's gonna scar you for the rest of your life, but practicing after you've been sun dried with mud, you know, it causes
makes you tougher. It definitely makes you work harder, and it makes you want to keep going.
Now, one thing, do the girls team, do they lift weights?
Yes, they actually do. Before the season started, they worked out with one of the trainers here at Fairview High School of Nate Blankenship.
Because I know the boys soccer team, actually, we do a lift-a-thon over the summer to raise money for our team, but we never actually lift weights during practice or anything like that. And I think that would actually be a
benefit to us. Yeah.
Benefit. We're going up against teams of, football players and whatnot that they lift weights every day, and they're massive, and we have speed but we don't have size, and actually lifting weights would probably most definitely fix that problem.
See, we also, you're right, we do a lot of running, just not enough weightlifting, which is really sad because you get pushed off the ball more easier, which allows you to, if you can possess that ball, it just gives your team another dynamic of the game.
Right. But speaking of speed, Fairview boys soccer is known throughout the county and the district as one of the most endurance-filled teams. Speaking of the team that doesn't get tired at all, our coach, Jason Loudon, actually forces us to do a thing called Hell Week during January, where you do continuous running out in the cold. Then that continues on actually into the season, where we're practically running, sprinting miles every day for practice. And when it comes to a game, you can clearly tell that none of us are tired.
And it pays off totally. I mean, you have Caleb with two strikers. We have two strikers, Caleb Duke and Tyler Emerald, who are extremely fast, and they are able to keep that endurance. And that's actually how Fairview gets most of their goals.
Yeah.
And it's just through ball after through ball, and no teams can keep up with it just because of the endurance factor.
And most commonly in soccer, you have your defensive players who are a little bit more husky, and they can give short, quick sprint bursts, but in the endurance factor, they don't have much. And then you have midfielders who are always
Just moving off the ball and moving
Right,
with the
you
ball,
know,
so they
very-
have to be there.
but their sprints aren't all that. And then you have your strikers who are typically the fastest.
Except typically, they're not very endurance-wise. They can make those short sprints, but it takes a while for them to recover. However, for past years, it's not been that at all, and strikers have been very fast.
Right. And that's the thing with Fairview. Jason Loudon actually forces us to train the same. So in the beginning of the season, everyone is at the same page, and then as the season continues, it get individualized into our categories.
Yeah, and your endurance is better, your speed's better. I don't know about you, but I definitely improved my speed a bunch by just those 400-yard sprints, and those can dramatically help you.
Oh, most definitely.
Well, it seems that it's going to be a sprint for the ball, and Megan Nocito will win that battle, except lose it to Loretto.
Yeah, that 2v1 thing, just one player, unless you are like Zidane Zidane or someone along those lines, a 2v1 is, 75% chance of you losing that ball.
Well, the thing I think, again, helps is that speed to get there, except afterwards you have to be able to make that move, which Sarah Maccaro did a brilliant job of, just maneuvering through two defenders.
Right. It's that first touch thing again, If you can get a first touch on that ball and have it settled right in front of you, then the rest of the work is so much easier.
It dynamically helps you, and it's such a good aspect of the game. If it's not there, you are missing a major component to your game.
Looks like we're going to have a goal kick for Loretto.
Speaking of another thing, the Fairview keeper, excuse me, I blinked on her name, Rainey Rasmussen, has kept 7 clean sheets. How impressive.
7. Do you think it's because of her skill, or do you think it's because Fairview stays on the opposite side of the field the entire game?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I think that she's a good keeper. Defensive-wise, their team is excellent. And again, offensively, it just seems that they've been keeping the ball in the other half, making it impossible for other teams to score with no shots on goal. As the saying goes, if you can't shoot, you can't score.
Right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Looks like Landriana Wilkeston is actually going to be taking this corner kick. And Landriana is actually, she has one of the softer shots on the team, but for accuracy, there is no one better.
Great corner kick right into the middle of the box. It's set right of the 6, and it's just not been able to head in.
Yeah. That was beautiful for her. You don't have to have that much power. It's just you have to hit the head of the nail.
And you have to get a little bit good amount of loft under it so a person can get a head or foot onto it. It's funny when you see a person with a bicycle kick.
Oh.
It's always interesting to see on corner kicks. With Tyler Emler, he's done that a few times. It's just really fun to see. It's a great spectacle.
It is. And Tyler Emler, a guy on the men's team, actually is notorious for performing bicycle kicks and scissor kicks and flip kicks just to do it.
Even though it's not necessary.
Yes. When he makes it, it looks good, but whenever he lands on his face, it's quite funny.
Yes, it is, especially with the mud on him.
Oh, yes.
And it seems, again, Fairview is just winning this game all around, and except it has been balanced out by Loretto, they are actually getting some offense in there now.
I know, you don't get timeouts in soccer, but as we come to a close of the first half, it's miraculous to see how Loretto has actually learned Fairview's game and is slowly increasing their field coverage.
Exactly, and Fairview scored those first 4 goals. They were on a great start, and now they just seem to be losing that edge, which really helped them. And I believe that Loretto has been picking up their game a bunch. If it would have been like this earlier in the game, it would have been still 0-0.
Yes.
Talking to teams before the game, each of this was a momentum pusher for them. Loretto not having a great season,
right?
And they're just trying to get themselves at a point where they can bounce into next season strong, do better next year with trying to get them into the district playoffs. In Fairview, it's also different. It's a different situation for them entirely. Them coming in 3rd overall in the district results, and so they're trying to get a momentum for their next playoff game.
Right. That's one thing that I love about soccer is You go to a football game and they're playing music at the beginning and you get all pumped up. Soccer, you don't have music at the beginning. It's one of those things where the passion in your soul ignites the team.
It's also, I mean, in soccer, it's completely different from football. You have the passion, all your skills and all your moves come from what you want to do. It's not a matter of what you're coached. It's a matter of what you know as a player and how it allows you to move off the ball, on the ball. And it's really about what your skill is, what your soul is, and what your passion for the game makes you want to do.
Definitely. It's one of those sports where, bringing up football again, not to bash it, but the quarterback can throw the ball to any wide receiver, and that person can make a touchdown anytime. But in soccer, if you don't push yourself daily to perfect a certain move or a certain aspect of the game, then come game time, you will never accomplish it. There is no way in, hell or high water that you will be able to perform something.
Yeah, soccer is definitely a team sport. Again, in football, we're not trying to bash it or anything. You focus on certain players. Well, in soccer, if you have one missing link, then you will not win a game. Right. You have to be there completely as a team, or else you're just not going to score goals, or you're just going to give up goals.
And that's the thing. Soccer, there's not third, fourth string players. You have your substitutions and your starters. And, even if you don't have a starting defender and that substitute fills in, there's still that little bit of the team that's lost.
Except you have to be able to recuperate as a team and fill that spot help them out, and get them together. You've got to work together in the sport.
And that's one thing I love. We have a football player, Cody McNeil. Good football player. Good. He's a big guy. But he cannot be a wide receiver. In soccer, if you have to be a forward and you're a defender, then you have to do it.
And everybody thinks that there aren't that big of switch of positions, but it is huge difference.
It's massive.
And, you go from a striker to a defender. Strikers, you have to have that first touch has got to be there. You have to have that skill to get around the defense, right. And you have to have that speed.
You have to be able to see the defender who is approaching you and make them predictable.
All right, and Fairview with the ball, taking a ball out for another Loretto goal kick.
That's right. They every time we get down there, especially on the right side, that mud just is holding us back, and it's always going about 5, maybe 10 yards on the right side of that goalpost.
Yeah, and there's also a deep mud pit at the top of the 18 on the left side, so both sides it's affecting, and it's just not helping those wings out at all.
Oh, no, and that's why you see a lot of Fairview ball. It's actually going to Lacey Hudson in the middle. That's actually Sammy Siegel there, but Lacey Hudson is just driving up the middle. There is no mud, and that's the only way that Fairview's able to get the ball close to the goal.
And, that mud is playing a giant factor in this game, and hopefully by next week it'll be better.
Right. It looks like we're having yet another goal kick for Loretto, who's been averaging about, well, that's actually above average right there, but their average is about 20, 25 yards out, which for girls high school soccer is below average.
Yes, generally they get about 30 yards, and now it is halftime, so we're going to get about a 15 to 20-minute intermission.
That's right. But David, what do you think Sassman was going to be talking to these girls about?
I think he wants to keep the level of the game going up. I think he wants to keep moving the ball throughout the wings and keeping it ball wide, because Loretto just can't seem to do anything about their offensive power.
Right. And you can see in the faces right here, Loretto, actually the side of their faces, that they're just frustrated beyond all reason.
And Fairview seems to be really energized. They're with the pace. When you're scoring a lot of goals, your team's obviously excited. They want to get in the second half with that same energy, same power, and keep it flowing.
It looks like Erin Jones, is number 19, is actually doing some form of dance, throwing her arms around. I don't know if that's a technique that she's trying to show the goalkeeper, or if she's just flailing around.
I think that's just flailing around. Oh, and our Fairview crowd tonight has been fairly large today.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I think the crowd has actually been bigger than what the guys' season holds.
Yeah, we typically we only get about 20 non-parental people there per game, but generally for the girls we get about 30 or 40.
just to be honest with the people watching this, the people that are related to the girls soccer team are actually guys soccer team players. We go and support the girls, but come springtime,
It doesn't work the
it doesn't
other
work
way
the other
around. Well, that's just the rivalry between the boys and the girls, each of them trying to do better with each other, trying to compete, and that's just the way it is at Fairview. And what do you think Loretto's coach is telling them right now while they're meeting right now?
Probably what Jeff Fisher should have told the Titans the other day, that if they don't start putting their act together, they're going to be walking home. I'm pretty sure that the coach is putting it in the nicest way possible, but is probably livid right now.
Yeah, she can't be too happy with that defense. It's just they're just not getting any offensive power. They're not passing well. They're not playing the ball. They're just kicking wildly and hoping it gets out.
Oh, most of it. They're my guess, knowing from how this game's looked, the coach is probably telling them that for the next 5-10 minutes maybe to just play a boot ball. You get the ball, hope that someone's going to be up halfway down the field to get it, just to see how that works. They're probably also changing their lineup to throw off Fairview's offense.
It sounds ugly, but it's probably the best chance Loretto does have, and you're right by that. And I think Loretto needs to try and actually, that number 14, she's doing a great job of possessing the ball, except she doesn't try to find a player wide of her or a ball to pass to. And that is why I think partly their offense cannot get it started tonight.
Oh, yeah. But speaking on that note, the number 14 dribbling, I think the other reason that she's not doing that well is there's nowhere to pass to.
Yeah, and if you don't have any to pass to, then obviously you can't pass the ball.
Right.
All right, so guys, looks like the Lady Jackets will take the field now.
And obviously in soccer we switch fields at halftime. Now the girls are actually having the wind advantage behind their backs.
As we see a little
jig right there. Don't know what I'd call that.
I'm not sure either. Well, we obviously see Lacey Hudson starting back in the second half. She was doing a great job in that offensive third, the first half. So let's see if she can keep that rolling, because all the ball was just going to her, and so she was able to dominate that first half.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And always along Lacey Hudson is Megan Nocita. Megan is actually one of the shorter players on the team, but she is a powerhouse.
Especially on that left wing.
Oh, definitely. She's one of those tactical players that is able to read a situation far before the situation occurs.
And it was Selena Farrell, actually a freshman, starting alongside Lacey Hudson at that right striker. I wonder how I wonder how it is just trying to cope with just being alongside an older teammate that knows more than you do in your freshman season.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard to cope with that.
Just a few seconds ago, you actually saw Molly Casaletta and our goalkeeper, Rainey Rasmussen. My apologies, Rainey. Kind of make a tumble to the ground, but they are so energetic. Lacey Hudson actually floating around like a butterfly. I'm pretty sure that is completely demoralizing Loretto right now.
And honestly, Fairview has all the right to. They've been dominating this game. There's just been no turnaround for Loretto, and it just seems if Loretto does not get their act together and Fairview keeps playing like with this dominant performance, it's going to be like that this second half.
Oh yeah. David, what's that over there? It's that tent. What are they selling over there?
I believe they're selling M&Ms and Snickers. I'm kind of hungry.
That's like, we're at an athletic game and they're selling unhealthy foods. That just baffles me right there.
I know, especially for that hot chocolate over there on this cold night.
You know, that's one thing I love about fall: apple cider and hot chocolate.
All right, guys. With the start of the second half, it seems that Loretto will get the goal kick, or the start off, excuse me, and hopefully that Loretto goalkeeper will do better than the first half.
Yep. Landriana Wilkerson is
number 10.
Yes.
She's playing that right wing, and we didn't get to see her in the first half because she was on the opposite side of us. But hopefully we'll get to see a little bit closer on how she does this half.
That's right. One thing that I absolutely adore about, especially on the Fairview field, is the first entire half, your right and left wings have become so accustomed to the design of their side of the field. And then at halftime, they have to completely change to the way the field is on their new side.
Lacey Hudson with that one-on-one shot, which goes wide for another Loretto goal kick. It was a good ball, good job by Lacey to take it down that left side and dribble through a couple of defenders.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and these girls, I mean, none of them are going to stop Lacey Hudson. She's on a roll right now. I don't think they could stop her if they tried.
Another short goal kick by the Loretto defense. They just can't be making it work.
And here comes Wilkerson. She actually did a left cut. Oh. Was that Selena Farrell right there?
I believe that was. It was no, yes, it was.
That is Selena Farrell.
And I think it will be a handball for another Loretto kick.
Yeah, Selena's just got to get those hands down. That was her first handball of tonight, but in other games, I think that is one thing that Selena needs to work on.
Well, and it's a good thing, too, because she's a freshman. She has much more time to fix that problem, and hopefully by next year she'll have that problem fixed. It's a fairly decent Loretto punt, and it seems one of their players have fallen to the ground.
Injury must not have been that major. It's going to be a Fairview throw. The ball's put into play to Selena Farrell.
Nice little cutback, which lays it back for Laney, who gets a decent cross in, but it just falls for a Loretto defender.
Now there's a goal kick. Had Selena been in that position, I'm safe to say that would have been a goal.
That shot needed to be a little bit more on target, and I think that's just because, again, the freshman hurts her left foot. Most players these days are not really acquainted with with both their feet. Most of them are either right or left-footed, but the key, I believe, to a great player is being able to use both of those feet and to score goals with either.
Right. On that note, most players, it's 75%, I believe, are right foot dominant, and those are your guys. If they only focus on that right foot, all they're going to be able to do with the left foot is these little finesse taps. But you see some players out here, especially tonight, Megan Nocita and definitely Allie King and Amy Grayson are three that I know of that are exceptional, both left and right foot.
And most of the time, the coaches have to use these people who are okay with their left foot and put them on left sides, even though that's not their dominant side.
Right. Like men's soccer, Nathan Green, left foot player, but sometimes he plays on that right wing.
Although the coach likes to put him on the left wing just so he can put good balls in.
All right.
That kid has exceptional speed on a breakaway.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be another Fairview girls throw in from Sarah Macaro. Her last throw was decent, and let's see if she can get a better one this time.
Right there.
Right. Oh, you see that mud pit again, just slowing the ball down, and it's just taking a spin, and now it's going to be another throw for Landriana. He throws it back to Sarah, who accidentally, again, kicks it out of bounds.
That mud is just, I'm safe to assume, once again, that the girls are actually locking their ankles down. But that ball is just covered with this slime, and it's not going the way they want it to.
Because no matter how hard you hit it, no matter how soft you hit it, it's just going to roll off your foot no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unfortunate because you see all the skill being put to waste on these accidents.
Looks like we have a right foot right into the arms of the goalkeeper.
That was shot by Ella Sanders, by the way.
Oh.
It was a good loft that just didn't have any velocity on it, and I think that's why it was an easy save for the goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ethan, what do you think of the girls? How do you think they've been looking so far in the second half?
So far in the second half, we're just a few minutes in. I believe that their passing ability has improved dramatically, and I think for reasons that there's not as much mud on this half of the field, and they're able to connect these small passes that allow them to move around without actually having to overwork their individual bodies.
Yeah, and it's so important to make sure your endurance is up, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, that your endurance is up, your speed's there, and that you just keep working as hard as you can, because as soon as you're not, coach is going to raise his hand, that sub's going to be in, and you're going to be sitting on the bench.
Right. That's one place you don't want to be at a soccer game, especially in this weather, sitting the bench.
Speaking of the weather today, it's been a fairly decent day. A little cold, but it's been nice. Obviously, the girls, it's not too cold. They're still wearing their short sleeves. In about another week or two, they'll have to wear those long sleeves just because it's so cold out here.
Right. That's one thing I was never able to do. Anytime I'm playing, if I have any Under Armour on, under heat gear or cold gear, I always overheat and get sick. So
Obviously, we don't want any of these players ill. I mean, it's not a good thing to have that or hurt, especially in the cold weather. You just get hurt more often because your muscles get cramp up easier, and it hurts more when that ball hits just because of the cold. And it's just miserable weather sometimes.
Right. And let's be thankful that these girls have such endurance. They're, even when the ball is not around them, they're able to sustain a pace that is allowing them not to cramp up.
What a good pace by Selena Farrell. She's been working for that ball all night, and she continued to display her work right there in the box.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it'll be won by Loretto and been kicked out for another Fairview throw-in.
Looks like a throw from Morocco.
Which will be headed over to Laney. Good header by Ella Sanders. Except it'll be played out for a Loretto throw-in. It's just a mishit by Laney.
Let's see. The ref is actually allowing a substitution right now. Now, David, TSSAA rule, if it is a substitution, are both teams allowed to sub?
They are, actually. It's different from FIFA, which is the Travel and Rec Association's rules. TSSAA allows both teams to substitute at the same time on either a goal kick or a throw-in. But FIFA only allows a team that is currently throwing the ball in or kicking the ball in to substitute.
Yeah. My question is, we have so many different forms of soccer regulation. You know, you got your FIFA, your TSSAA, and surely every other state has a different one. Why don't they make one uniform rule that applies from when you're 5 years old to when you're playing professional?
Now that's a very good point. Now it is sad because high school and college associations do use this TSSAA, and that is used nationwide.
Right.
However, and so is the FIFA rules. Except it does, however, change per state, and I do think that needs to have a change soon. You just don't see the commonality between the state and the nation working together, and I believe they should be doing that, just so that way we don't have all this confusion in the rules. All these coaches aren't battering refs on just because they don't know.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that gets me. Several coaches actually will come out and just yell at refs, and it really just tears the game up. And the referee has no
power to stop it.
Oh yeah.
And you don't want to have to warn them or take them out. It's just not a fun part of the game. And I think that does ruin the game a little bit. And I think coaches need to try and control themselves a little bit more and just make it a better game for both the players, the fans, and the refs. I mean, I don't know about that, but that just sounds right to me, and it makes it better. So, Ethan, okay, talking about the refs, speaking of like officials and calls, what do you think of the physicality of girls soccer?
Oh, definitely. There is a physical aspect to it. You have players like Selena Farrell and Molly Castelletta, and definitely Lacey Hudson again, who bring that physical aspect to the game. But compared to men's soccer, there is no comparison. There is brutal force there, blood shed at every game. Girls soccer, they're more of the finesse. They want to pass around. If someone is coming up on them, they want to get rid of the ball as fast as they can. They want to avoid any and all nail breakage.
Sometimes I do believe that's true. Yes, you're right on that. But when I see, for instance, like when my sister plays, she plays very tough, very hard. So do all these girls. But they do kind of hold back a little, and except the difference between girls and boys soccer, I've always felt, is girls hold grudges a little bit more than boys do. Like,
yes.
Boys, after a game, they'll shake hands, they'll be all good. Girls, they hold those grudges, and they'll think, when they next play that team, they're like, oh, I remember that girl. I'm going to got a mark on her. And that's just the way I think it is.
That goes unsaid for both men's and women's soccer. Like, guys, we play a team, you get hit around and whatnot. After the game, you're just two normal people that attend a high school. Girls soccer, it's, that girl that hit you down or said to you on the field, you hold that.
And you put that in the back of your brain as
Inspiration for the next
so-and-so.
game.
Yeah, or during that game. Speaking of the game, here comes Allison Shue down the left flank, and it'll be out for a Fairview corner kick.
Yeah.
It's one of the first corner kicks on that side of the on that side of the field this half. Oh, excuse me, that'll be a goal kick. I'm sorry, I saw that deflection off the Loretto defense.
I think that our Fairview girls have actually realized that Loretto's goal kicks aren't that far out.
And you could the defense also knows this as well, because you can see them all still grouped into that 18-yard box. There's about 7 or 8 of them packed inside that box.
It's I think that if Loretto coach doesn't change that soon, this is going to turn into a rugby match. They have all their girls playing in the 18, which is where the goal is held. I mean, if something isn't done, a rugby match will break out.
Yeah, I definitely believe that, and I think if the goals keep coming for Fairview, which they haven't been in during the second half, but I hope for Fairview's sake that they keep coming. But if it doesn't, then you'll start seeing more fouls, and obviously the ref's going to have to control that, and hopefully the Loretto coach can keep that from happening.
Oh, yeah. Looks like ball's going to roll out for a Fairview throw.
So, Ethan, what do you think of the new technology we've seen in soccer lately? Like, you see all these brand new balls coming in, these 4-patch balls. They're just designed better. They're the quality of them.
I think that, just to be dead honest, nothing can replace the age of Pele. That technology, back then, you have your simple soccer, your cleats, that they get the job done. They weren't super expensive. And nowadays you have these carbon fiber, like the Nike Mercury Vapor cleats, carbon fiber cleats that are weighing, ounces, just ounces of weight. You have titanium studs that somehow pass regulation, and those things can cause serious damage for any player. And also, speaking of the balls, I think it's miraculous that we have the technology now. We have dimple balls that actually give a golf ball effect, causing the ball to fly harder, faster, and have less of a spin on it. But these new 4-patch balls that have actually come out resemble much of a volleyball to me, and those are used for younger ages, if I'm not mistaken, so that they can get that feel of distance kicking.
And for a keeper like me or Rainey, you see those 4-patch balls, they knuckle a crazy beast. Those things, they go from one place to another. Oh, and it'll be a Fairview goal off of a deflection. So that would make the score 5-0.
Those, corporations don't want you to know, like, especially like, store-bought brands like Walmart and that. They put so many patches on because that actually saves them money with material, but that causes the ball to have really low quality. The less patching and the thicker the bladder is on the inside of the ball actually gives a much better feel to the player. The like you said, the 4-patch balls knuckle, and knuckling, if no one knows this definition, it's where when the ball is kicked and while it's actually in motion, it doesn't move. It's aerial, and the ball, if you can read the word FIFA, it stays FIFA all the way until it gets to you. If it hits you in the chest, it hurts really bad.
Yeah, and for a keeper, it's hard to get a handle on because, those balls just moving from left to right to up to down, and it's just hard to keep track of. And that's why you see a lot of open hand saves, so that way keepers can get the area of their hands bigger so it can block the ball in more places.
And speaking of keepers, the technology that they have now for keeper gloves is ridiculous. They have these new gloves that I saw the other day. They're called shark skin gloves.
Yeah,
they have the backbones for your fingers, so your fingers actually don't bend backwards when you hit the ball, and the inside of the glove is made with shark skin, so that whenever you actually go open palm to catch a ball, the ball has more friction, causing it to slow down and stop right in your hands.
Yeah, Adidas developed that the backbone for your fingers that prevents them from bending back. Those are called Finger Save. Those have actually been a great technology. It's actually saved many keepers breaking their hands or breaking fingers. Before I actually own one of them now, and before that I had broken a few of my knuckles just on accident by doing that. And this new technology really does help protect the keepers, protect the game, and it just keeps it more. It makes an easier save for the keeper.
Yes. And one thing, just to make a note on real quick, they have this ridiculous headset out that you just put it on like a headband, and when you hit the ball, it's supposed to relieve pressure from your cranium. Those things are so stupid.
Those full 90s. They do actually do a good job of preventing concussion, but I'm sorry, when you have when you wear those, it's a good laugh for the people on the bench.
Oh, when you run out there and you got this giant blue pad around your head, that is that would distract me from a game. I don't think I could referee a game when some kid's wearing that.
It's sad too because you see all these kids with these concussions just from hitting these balls as hard as they do, trying to score these goals that are ridiculously hard, and it's just funny, as we said earlier.
Oh yeah. Kind of like Tyler Imler with his notoriousness for performing aerial flips to do a kick.
Which we talked about earlier in the broadcast as well. Soccer is becoming a little bit of a flashy sport, and I think that is kind of taken away from the actual game and the greatness of it to me. Like you said, the Pele era, and the good game ball, it just made it better for the game. The ball was just taken down by Ashley Bowman. She's actually a defensive midfielder. That's rare for her to take the ball down like that.
I'm thinking that this 5-goal up deal is messing with Fairview's mentality. We actually have defenders running the ball now, which if there's an open street, I say run for it. But we are getting a little bit overconfident right now, taking these balls like this, which could lead to Loretto getting a goal. And just one goal can completely change the aspect of the game.
I mean, we've all seen those comebacks from, like in football, a 34 deficit comeback, and like when we've seen a soccer comeback of like say 2-0, it doesn't take long for you to score a goal.
Oh, it doesn't.
And it can happen so quickly, like we saw last year in the Confederations Cup of FIFA.
Yes.
When the USA was up 2-0 against Brazil in the first half, and in the second half, at the end of it, it was 3-2. Brazil won.
Mm-hmm.
And the turn of the tide can happen so quickly, and it can be so harsh on the team and it's demoralizing, really.
Oh, that was a beautiful T90 shot from Landriana Wilkerson. By far best shot of tonight.
Oh, definitely. Right over the keeper's hands. Keeper had no chance. Tucked into that left side pocket of the net. Keeper had no chance.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please continue talking about
the FIFA Confederation.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a demoralizing factor to any team, and I think if you just let yourself open up, that things will happen.
Oh, most definitely. That's recording?
Yep.
And that was a beautiful goal of Landry and Wilkerson. We started back off with a kickoff from Loretto, which was a 1-2 pass, but it was picked off by Fairview. Now Landry and Wilkerson is actually carrying through the mud
down that line, and she's being a beast in this game, as some people would say.
See if she can pull it off again. Selena Farrell's just that moment late, but Landry and Wilkerson is working hard. Looks like she's gonna rip another one.
She's trying to get lucky. After you feel one goal, you feel like getting more, and it happens to players. After they get that goal, they want more. They want to get more goals. They want to see if they can. And Ladriana Wilkerson is actually getting close to a hat trick right now with 2 goals. And so let's see if she can accomplish that task.
If she can pull this third one out, then she has all the rights to pull a Mia Hamm. Just hopefully there's clothes on.
I mean, nobody wants to see that.
That's true. I love watching, a high school recorded game because the camera's right up on the line. You actually see the expressions from the player's face. Aaron Jones, Selena Farrell, and Landry Wilkerson probably have the most expressional faces of this game.
Definitely. I mean, you can see the players' emotions, their expressions. They're all tired, obviously. You can see it. And, I mean, they're just working so hard during this game, especially exemplified by that ball won by Ella Sanders.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Whenever you see a team getting tired, it's not just, one player making a mistake. It's everything just doesn't connect.
Now, Ethan, I got a question for you. What's the most crucial position on the field, do you believe, as a player?
Most crucial position, I believe it depends on the game. If you're playing at night in cold weather like these girls, I definitely no. We're assuming that we're playing an even opponent. That okay.
Yeah, we're definitely assuming we're playing an even opponent.
It would definitely be a defensive midfielder. They have all the responsibility of making runs and making sure the forwards get the ball, but they're also in charge of going back and supporting the defense. Now, if the tides had turned and it's a sunny, hot, sweaty day, then I'm putting all the weight on the wings. Those wings are the ones that are going to carry and give us that extra amount of length that we need.
No, I definitely agree, because if those wings are just too tired and they're just not getting any work done, you have no width of the field. There's no you cannot work the ball through. And to work the ball through the middle, you do need to use your width to spread the field, get the defenders wide, open those lanes so you can fit those through balls through, and so you can just score so many goals. And I definitely agree. Now, however, if you are playing an uneven opponent and in fact you are the lesser team, I think it's crucial to have a good goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah. If you are playing against an opponent that is far better than your team, a good goalkeeper is the most important player on that team at that point. You want to protect that keeper as well as give them the opportunity to make all the saves. If you're playing a team that's way better and they get a couple goals up, it's important that you talk to your keeper to get that off their shoulders, because the more they think about it, the more they're going to mess up.
Yeah, and if you are, again, like Fairview in this game, and you are the greater team, I do believe that the responsibility falls on the strikers.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you're the team that's throwing 5-6 goals up, it's all on the strikers. They get that the crowd support, the cheering, they get all that, everything. But if they don't make the right moves, everything's going to fall apart.
Again, like we said, say you're dominating possession of a game. If you don't score goals, you still cannot win that game. And that is why I believe that these strikers, even though their team is dominating possession, dominating the field, dominating the game, you have to score goals, and that falls all on the strikers. We saw that it was like another FIFA Confederations Cup last year, Spain versus USA. Even though USA won, they didn't play better than the Spain team. And although Spain dominated possession and dominated the game, they still lost because they couldn't score those final goals.
Spain, playing that game, Spain was just so concentrated on passing and getting around the American style of play. But they just got that goal, and that settled the game.
Yeah, it did, because just Spain couldn't get any goals scored. America's defense did a great job during the game. As well as the team defense here for Fairview. They've been holding good. Nothing's really gotten into the final third for the defense. Keeper's been very bored, as we can say, for right now. And I know it's bad as a keeper, but it's great for a team.
Right. And speaking on boredom and whatnot, the Loretto coach, it's obvious that she has actually decided to change the lineup to a man-v-man play. And typically in high school, you don't want to play man-v-man. You want to have your position, and that's your area to cover. But this isn't a good example, because we have a player, Molly Castellet, just running down the field. But
yeah, she did a great job at maneuvering through those defenders and taking it upfield.
The Loretto coach, though, has grabbed certain players and marked up against Fairview, which is really slowing down. Like that instance right there with Lacey Hudson. Lacey had no power over that because that player was marking her so tight.
Yeah, and we see again, Loretto's starting to get more into that half. But I do think it's due to just Fairview's tiring, and they're just like, when you do get up by so much, you start putting in your subs in, you start putting in the freshmen and the sophomores. Although dominantly, we've seen most sophomores have started this game.
Oh, most definitely the sophomores have started this game. And actually, that right there, Selena Farrell, miraculous job. She maneuvered past 3 defenders. The only thing that she needs to be able to do is look up from the ball. When she goes to shoot towards the goal, she never looks up to see where the goalkeeper is first.
Oh, definitely.
She would have so many more goals.
Yeah, most shooters nowadays, they shoot to try and miss the goalie. However, I believe as a striker, you should just shoot to find a common point and aim for that target.
Oh, yeah. The first time in a game, as soon as the game opens, if you get a chance to shoot, pick a spot, and if it works, keep with it the entire game. If it doesn't work, you need to find something that does.
Keepers obviously have that total weakness that every single keeper does, the upper 90. And and also most people don't realize it, but the lower corners as well is a weakness. And folks, if you didn't know, the upper 90 is the top corners of the goal on the left and right side. Those are almost impossible to save for a keeper. They're great. If you could put it there, you're almost 100% going to score if it's fast enough. And if those are the greatest points to score at. But however, those two lower corners are a great place to score too, because it's hard to get down as a keeper.
Oh, yeah. And the thing with keepers is what coaches are doing nowadays is they have players like one of our own is Tyler Imler. Tons of power in every kick, but as for accuracy, that's so-so. But what our coach does is has him go in and shoot at the keeper's face over and over again until that keeper is scared to death of what Tyler Imler will do. And after that, then we have players coming in just barely tapping the ball to the corners, and the keeper's too scared to make a move.
Yeah, and I think I don't know about the strategy, but I do agree with putting the ball to the sides of the keeper. Keepers cannot, if you put it right past their ankle, it's an incredibly hard save to make. And I think last season, Tyler Imler and Caleb Duke both would have scored so many more goals if they would just found the sides of the net and put it there.
Oh, yeah. I think one thing with that, though, is you're in high school, you're trying to be Mr. Macho, and, dinking a ball into a corner doesn't look as beautiful or, doesn't look as manly as if you powerhouse it straight through.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that persona takes on. However, you see in these English Premier Leagues, this Major League Soccer, the Spanish Premier League, you see all these leagues of the world, including international play. They just tuck into the corners, and it works so beautifully.
It does. I think that's just something that you have to learn with time with the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely. Speaking of time with the ball, if you don't practice every single day at these moves, at these play, at shooting, at dribbling, your game starts to fall apart.
Most definitely. Looks like we have Allison Shue throwing up a 2 for a set kick. It's indirect. And indirect, actually, just to go over the rules real quick, indirect means it has to touch the kicker and one other player, either on home or a visiting team, before it can be scored.
And Ashley Bowman just scored her first goal of the season off a deflection off a Loretto defender. Congratulations to Ashley. She is a senior this year.
Good.
One of the captains. It'll be her last year here, obviously. And so congratulations to her.
Good. Who are the other captains? Do you know?
The other captains, I believe, are the seniors are definitely lead, with Alyssa Steiner as one of them, along with Lauren Taylor. And another one, as we would see, is Allison Shue, and she has been such a dominant force on that in the central midfield as an attacking midfielder.
Oh, most definitely. Allison Shue is one of those players. Alyssa Steiner is also a player. Unlike Lacey Hudson with brute force, Alyssa Steiner plays a very finesse and more intelligent game, I would say. She thinks before she acts.
Yes, definitely. Now, see, that is we have 4 graduating seniors this year, and each of them are going to be going to college, hopefully. And we have this upcoming batch of freshmen this year, and I believe your sister is one of them coming up this year.
Yes, my sister is. Unfortunately, we're still undecided whether she'll be attending Fairview High School or not. But if she is attending, then Katie Allison will be a player for the Fairview Yellow Jacket girls. She'll be playing defense, just like her brother.
Yeah, and speaking of seniors, we have one of our senior media people is directing this show for you today. His name's Jason Flake. He's senior director this year, and he's neglecting to speak to us today, but he says hi, and hopefully we'll get this broadcast in. And today, hopefully with this coverage, we'll make it'll be good for you and the fans. And as of right now, it'll be a Fairview corner kick for right now. And it seems that Fairview has just been dominating this possession, and hopefully they can keep this up with, I believe that is Aaron Jones taking the corner kick right now.
Yeah, that's Aaron Jones. We want to make a quick shout-out to number 28 freshman Crystal Flake, Jason Flake's youngest younger sister.
As you can see right here on the field.
Right. She is a very dominant player in this game. She's that missing piece that they throw in and allows the forward strikers and the defensive back to connect to one another. Now, the Flakes have come from a long line of very interesting and successful people. Ryan Flake, the eldest, actually is well known for his videography, his cinematography. Sorry, Jason Flake is following in those footsteps, making this one of his highlight coverages for this year. Still, he will not say hello, but he's working meticulously on bringing you this coverage.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, that attacking midfielder is a vital part of the game. They connect the offense, the defense to the midfield, and the midfield to the offense. And it basically transitions every attack, every defense, and it's a vital part of the game.
Oh, most definitely. That the midfield typically in your professional or just national teams, that midfielder is the head captain, because that midfielder can see, well, actually the midfielder doesn't see the most, but they are active the most. They have the responsibility of getting the ball from the defense to the middle, up to the forwards, and hopefully into the goal.
Great save by the Loretto goalkeeper. Sammy Siegel had that shot in the lower corner. It was a good save by the Loretto goalkeeper, getting down and saving that shot. It'll be another Fairview corner kick from, I believe, Aaron Jones. And hopefully she can put a better ball in this time on top of the 6 and a little bit higher.
Hopefully, ball's thrown up, and
good ball into the middle, except it's deflected out for another corner kick.
Yeah, we're just jamming through these corner kicks.
Yeah, at the beginning of the half there wasn't as many, and Fairview just seemed to be maybe losing that edge from the first half, but it definitely seems to have been picked back up, and Fairview is again winning every single ball. Now Fairview, it's not really known that much, but they've been playing well over the season. They've been doing decently. Where do you think they can improve on throughout to next year?
Well, things that could be improved would probably be definitely power. You want more powerful kicks, like this corner kick here. It was intended to be a low drive. However, the speed on that ball just wasn't enough to get through. Something else to work on would probably be the aggression level. You don't see that many girls with an aggression level that of a guy. And if you threw some guys out there right now, the game would be completely shifted, even for Loretto. So if we could get some girls a little bit angry, I think that things would be different.
I think the power definitely is made in the weight room, in practice, and I just think that is a good point. Kevin Sizemore needs to work out. I think he also needs to work on their spacing. They seem to be very clumped together, especially in that midfield, and especially up top as a striker. They need to talk more and get the communication there, so that way they know where they're at, communicate through the ball, and make those passes right.
Right, and speaking of spacing, one thing is, if you grow up with a team, you learn how players are, but here I think it's very vital that they learn that as soon as I pass the ball off to you, I need to move to make myself available again.
Oh, definitely. Movement off the ball is vital to a team, vital to a game, and it's basically the only way goals can occur.
Right. I mean, you have every now and then, it happens because they feel like they need to, but that's something that needs to happen every time. There should be no walking at all.
Well, if you do need a rest, yeah, then pull back on the defense, switch with another person, get them, basically pull somebody up, and you drop back. That or get a sub in, because there's so many. This girls team does have a lot of subs.
Oh yes.
And I think that that if you're tired, get your hand up, get a sub, and so that way, if you're not making your team fail, you're helping your team by getting if you're not doing as well as somebody else could, then get off the field and do it, and make sure your team gets the win.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I had to take, because I'm a very prideful player. Whenever I'm getting tired or whenever I suffer a slight injury, I want to stay in because I feel like I'm doing the best at the position I am, when in reality I need to realize that if I get out, someone else can get in, I can get a quick rest, and I can jump back in and do better than what I was before.
Yeah, you see that a lot with seniors nowadays, and they think, oh, I'm number one, I'm the best one on the field, when in truth there's every single player is better at certain points of the game.
Oh yeah, each player is better at something individually, and it's just that factor. I'm getting tired. I should get out. Let someone come in. And Sizemore does a great job with the girls' soccer here, being able to tell when certain girls are climbing down that power road.
Yeah, all these girls, especially the sophomores, we've seen the rise up, and the sophomore and juniors more specifically. We've seen them rise up from last year to this year, and they've just matured. Ooh, a harsh foul on Selena. I believe that is Sierra. Excuse me, let me find who that is real quick. I'm sorry about that, folks. That would be Sierra Rich. That would be a harsh foul on her, and it'll be a free kick for Fairview.
Sierra Rich, freshman, right?
Yeah, she is a freshman. She's been doing very well this season. And I believe she's also one of those players who's matured throughout the season, and I think next year she'll be even better.
Right. I don't know if you know anything about this, but I'm just pretty curious. The head coach of a team has to be a teacher within that county?
Yes, that is. It's not specifically true, but most of the schools administrators, such as principals and vice principals, would prefer that just because they might know the person a little bit better. They know what they're used to, and they know what they're getting into.
Right.
Kevin Sizemore is one of the technology teachers here at Fairview High School, and Jason Loudon, the boys coach, is actually a teacher over at excuse me, Ethan, I forget the school name. Hillsborough Middle School. He's a social studies teacher, and I think that it just makes the staff more accustomed to what they're doing.
Right. The only thing is, like, an assistant coach is not required to have any affiliation with a school. The assistant coach for the Fairview Jacket girls team is Daniel Donegan. All right.
Personally, I have no affiliation with him, but I've heard he's a great coach.
Yeah. Back my freshman year, whenever the coaching was different, we called him Howdy, and he would actually make us do tornado runs. Now, I don't know if he does that with the girls' soccer team here, but whatever he is, it's really pulling through with these girls.
And that'll be a win for Fairview. At the very end, Rainey Rasmussen got her first and final save. And now to finish the game, they'll shake hands. I think it's a great tradition. You shake hands with the team. It's a great way to cap a game.
Right, and one thing, the referees are supposed to go and stand at half field. And Sizemore and both Loudon together, they really encourage the players, either they won or either they lost, to go and shake the ref's hand.
Yeah, it shows a sign of respect. These refs, they don't have to be here. They're doing this all voluntarily, even though they are being paid. They don't have to be here. It's a choice, and I think we need to thank them for that effort.
Oh, definitely. You can actually see, like we said earlier, the grudge thing. You can see a couple of girls looking back as Loretto walks away, holding those grudges for the next game.
Oh, definitely. It'll definitely be a different game next time they play, because you don't want to come back and play the same team with that misery and that shame of last season's defeat.
Oh, no. Well, I think that this is probably a great win for Fairview, one of the top ones of my high school career to watch. Oh, excuse me. Looks like we have a Eiffel Tower going up, and now the girls are taking off to go
thank their parents.
Yes, the run across the field, one of the best things.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna have to wrap up this session. This has been a great game for this game, and our director Jason Flake would actually like to get a word in right now for the finals take.
Everyone, this is Jason Flake.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good, Jason. Thanks for joining us these last few seconds. What were your thoughts about the game so far?
I thought Fairview played an awesome game. This was the actual first game that I've been to, and it was a complete knockout, and I think Fairview did great.
Yep. Fairview, amazing. Let's call this a wrap.